Welcome back, all my tech mexers. It's been a long time since I've dropped a video, and I'm trying to be better about that, but it's time to talk about some Nazis. Let's get into it.
It's my diversity shield.
So I got invited to an exclusive pre-screening of the film Truth and Treason. I saw it 2 weeks ago, but the movie drops in theaters this week. So I've been sitting on the film for a while and letting my thoughts percolate a little bit because I didn't want to release a video way too early. Truth and Reason is a World War II movie. It's about Nazis, and it's really good. The movie is directed by Matt Whitaker, who also directs one of my favorite war movies called Saints and Soldiers. That movie's over 20 years old, which makes me feel really old. It's a really good World War II movie that offers a very different perspective on the war than what you're used to. I love World War II movies. I can't get enough of them. Watch them all the time. It's the most interesting war to read stories about because we have so much of it documented, and the whole world was involved. So it was kind of a big deal. Saints and Soldiers makes the story a lot more personal. It sheds a lot of light on some of the German people that, had to go through World War II as well, just like us. And this new movie goes down a very similar route. It's told entirely from the German perspective. There aren't any Americans in the movie. It's just Nazis and German citizens, and it is fascinating. I love his movie, Saints and Soldiers. There are 2 sequels to it that I have not seen. He didn't direct them. I think the cinematographer of the first movie went on to direct the 2 sequels. I don't know if they're good. But we're not talking about those movies anywhere. We're talking about Truth and Treason, which is, I think it's the better film. There's not as much shooting in it. There's not really any action. It's just a drama. But it's fantastic. Truth and Treason is the true story of a German kid called Helmut Hübner, who was awesome. Without getting into too many spoilers here in the beginning, it's the story of German citizens living in Germany during World War II and their reaction to the war, the propaganda, the uncertainty, not necessarily knowing exactly what's true, and having to make choices. It's a very unique film that I'm not really sure has been done before. Like maybe there are some other movies that cover the same kind of perspective, but I don't know of them. I haven't seen them. Maybe the closest kind of movie is like Valkyrie with Tom Cruise, but that movie was a lot more about the action and political intrigue and suspense. And also they none of them had German accents, which was a weird choice. Truth and Reason is a lot more grounded. It's about the civilians, doing the best they can. And it's crazy. It's eye-opening. This movie reminds you what it means to be human. It is a masterclass in empathy. Really shines a light on, perspectives of World War II that don't get talked about a lot. I really enjoyed the film. I think it's fantastic. I got to meet the director. He had a Q&A after the screening, and I met the main character's real-life nephew who was in the same screening. It was a really cool experience, and it was a great movie. The film doesn't have a huge, wide release. It's a very limited release, so if you can find screenings close to you, go for it. Absolutely support this film. You won't be disappointed. It is a really cool story. The movie is produced by Angel Studios, so I'm sure at some point it will be on their platform, and you can watch it streaming there. But if you can, try to support this movie in theaters. It's phenomenal. So go see the movie if you can. I loved it. And stop watching this video if you don't want to hear any spoilers, because I want to talk about some more specific things. But I gotta spoil the story to do so. Which it's a true story. So spoilers don't really count, right? So pause the video, leave now, go watch the movie, come back later, or keep watching if you don't care about spoilers. So the reason that this story is so important is because the main character, Helmut Hübner, was the youngest German citizen to be charged with treason because he was actively resisting the war efforts and spreading anti-propaganda around the city that he lived in. He steals a typewriter from his church, and he steals paper from the government building that he works in, where they keep banned books that he also steals and reads. And he writes up a bunch of essays and flyers condemning Hitler, calling him out for his lies, and trying to spread the truth around Germany, which he's getting from an illegal radio that his brother brings home. It's a really cool story. It's very sad because he gets caught. Otherwise, he couldn't have been charged with treason. So ultimately, it's a story about, standing up for your beliefs and, not backing down in the face of adversity. The crux of that story, too, is that he gets his friends involved. He gets them to help pass out the flyers. And then when they get caught, he has to decide whether he's going to roll on his friends. And the Nazis want to pin the whole thing on his older friend who's 18 and can be given a more harsh sentence. They want to pretend that he was the ringleader and let the two younger kids off more leniently. And so he has to make a choice whether or not he's going to betray his friends and get a lighter sentence or stand up for what's true. It's a really great story, but the best part of the movie is not the main character. The best part of the movie is the SS officer hunting down the main character. He is such an intriguing, fascinating character. He's played by Rupert Evans, who's been in a few things, and he is wonderful. This movie makes you feel empathy for the Gestapo. It's crazy. His characterization in this movie, it's fascinating. It's one of the most interesting character studies I've ever seen on film. You see this character doing horrific things to get to the truth, to capture the main character, to catch the guy who's defying Hitler. He tortures people, and then he goes home and is a loving father and husband. And it's very, very jarring. There's a lot of this movie is uncomfortable by design, and it is really expertly designed. You get to see this SS officer very conflicted. He's doing his job. He's trying to serve his country, and he kind of begins to see, like that maybe he's not all on the right side. It's a really good story. A lot of biopics like these take a lot of liberties and exaggerate the actual facts to make them more cinematic, but this movie doesn't really do that. The director talked about how he's been trying to get this movie made for 20 years. He made a documentary on the same story over 20 years ago, and he's been trying to turn it into a film for a very long time, refining the script, learning more and more about the real story, getting actual letters that the guy wrote, and piecing together the story from a 20-year journey, digging up more and more about this real-life person. And it's really good. The SS officer who's hunting down the main character doesn't know that he's a child, doesn't know that he's 16 years old, because his writing is so good, he assumes he's a college professor. And to spoil the ending a little bit, the SS officer, even though he does catch the guy and turn him in and he's tried for treason, he personally files for clemency because he doesn't think that Helmuth deserves the punishment that he ends up getting. It is a shockingly well told story. It is a great movie, and it makes you feel things you don't want to feel. It makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel empathy for a really bad guy. And most of all, it humanizes all of Germany. These were people too. They had lives, they had lovers, they had children, they had families. And a lot of times we forget that. We watch war movies and it's great to see Nazis get slaughtered. And we forget that they were all humans too. Now, obviously, some of those Nazis did very, very bad things. Okay? Hitler was a bad guy. But a lot of them were just people serving their country. The main character's brother is conscripted to fight on the front lines, and it's something that you don't see a lot in media. It's jarring on purpose. You see the main character go to church, and they're giving the Nazi salute over the church pews, saying Heil Hitler in church, which is very, very uncomfortable to watch. And it's a very intentionally uncomfortable, wonderfully made movie. I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over again, but I just can't stress enough how good this movie is. Go see it in theaters if you can. Truth and Treason. It's a fantastic movie. That's it for today. Bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining. Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.
I'd buy that for $1.